Former General Kayihura's criminal known as Minana, his real name I think is called Abdul, was brought in court, okay, after being linked to the murder of JOAN KAGEZI. When he was being brought to court, he said out General Kayihura's name to come out and rescue him. Here's the tape. That is Minana. So the people who were linked to the JOAN KAGEZI murders, they are all criminals who were put in the police by none other than the criminal, one of the worst Inspector General of Police, KALE KAYIHURA, in the whole world, except maybe Pakistan, because it's still a failed state. But General KALE KAYIHURA will go in the history of the country as the one of the worst IGP, who incorporated the criminal gangs in the police to torture, create disorder, create disharmony in the country, so that he can benefit politically, but also get loyalty to his boss Museveni. As the intelligence is now zeroing in on the murderers of JOAN KAGEZI, it is clear that the people who orchestrated his death were from the police. It's so unfortunate. When we see the people who were supposed to keep law and order and keep peace were among the very people who orchestrated order. In fact, I think, I may not have the evidence, but it's even very clear that the people who killed Afande Chirumira were also this gang, because Afande Chirumira before his death, he used to say these names. He used to speak about Mohanji, he used to speak about Baroza, he used to speak about Minana, he used to speak about NICKSON as the people who orchestrated the case, but Kayihura would once every time comes out to defend them. So in this episode, okay, I've come to talk about the arrest of Minana, what it means to General KALE KAYIHURA, one of the worst Inspector General of Police, but most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, during KALE KAYIHURA, we saw criminal gangs in the police. We saw murderers within the police. We saw unconstitutionalism. By the way, to be fair to KALE KAYIHURA, Kayihura was given a lot of power. He used to break the constitution to keep the regime in power. But on side, he used also to create goons within the police to do his underdealings. It's the reason as to why General Museveni fell out with him. That is the very reason. So for me, I think the reason as to why KALE KAYIHURA, as to why General Museveni fell out with KALE KAYIHURA, it was because he deviated from what he was supposed to do. Because General Museveni will protect you even if you do unconstitutional means, for as long as you protect his government. Okay, so KALE KAYIHURA is the worst Inspector General of Police. To show you, at first, NICKSON AGASIRWE was arrested. KAYIHURA came out to preempt his connection with NICKSON AGASIRWE and the murder of JOAN KAGEZI. Now even Minana was arrested. In fact, let me first show you the pictures when Minana was being brought to court. Here are the pictures. That is Minana. What pains me more is the same people. The names have always been familiar when, okay, the late Chirumira used to come out and talk about them. He spoke about the same names. The notorious thief, the late Sobi, also talked about the same names. Okay, this was 5 years ago. Sobi used to come out to tell us that these people were in conjunction of killing Kagezi. Some people mistook it otherwise. Some people thought that Kaka was stupid because Kaka was heading the issue, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, the rest Sobi said these statements.
Ekintu kya Kagezi Africa gabula yakirimu. Era nze nayogerako naye nangamba kituufu ekintu yakirimu nze Sobi. Nangamba ekintu yakirimu. Era bagenda okuba omukazi nga Minana nga Africa gabula ali mu motoka ya Nickson. Pulani bagikolera luzira. Era Nickson yasindikanga Minana najje luzira nga visita wa gabula. Kubanga Minana yali luzira n'afuluma ku musango gwa Luwa Paaka. Then ate mu kufuluma kwa Minana, Nickson yamufunira bailo. Era bw'ava luzira n'afuluma ebweru ne bamussa mu kintu. Gabula yakola omulimu gw'amaanyi nnyo mu kintu ekyo.
That is the late Sobi. So you clearly see that even Sobi, the notorious thief, since he was in conjunction with these criminal fellows, he knew about these murders. He knew about these murders. Okay? He even went on to say that Kayihura never used the structures of police. He used to use gangs. Ladies and gentlemen, it reached a point, the head of Border 2010, a P1 dropout, sorry for those who didn't go to school, would intimidate a DPC, District Police Commander. Some people even came out to say that he could influence your transfer from a certain district. It was courtesy of Kayihura. During Kayihura, I used to tell people that never say anything political. Since when you're opposition on a border stage, because every border stage had some intelligence. It's not bad when it's being used in a proper way, but it was used to settle political scores, to torture people, to abduct people. Okay? Sobi even said these statements about the rogue policemen. Here's the tape.
Ekyakuba kale yagenda n'afa ku basajja abaasoma ebitabo. Neyeewa nnyo abaleeta information.
Bayinfoma ne bawamba poliisi.
N'abawaneranga. Kakati nojja weesanga nga bwana Muwanga Lutaaya ye IO fayiro. Gwe baasindisa okugenda okwarestinga si wa poliisi. Bwe yatuuse okugenda okwarestinga n'ayingira mu nnyumba y'omuntu n'omukazi n'amukuba jeeke. Fayiro emaze okwonooneka.
Obujulizi bukyasanga.
Gwe wakutte omuntu oli musajja ate tolina wa poliisi. Ate agenda okukola fayiro wa poliisi ali tekiniko omutendeke.
Talina ate nawe wakuleeta.
Talina wakuleetera arresting officer nti yegundi. Atalina badge ya poliisi wadde namba ya poliisi. Kati nojja weesanga nga poliisi yennyini yali ekubaani Kayihura olw'okuba nti yabajjako obuyinza bwabwe n'abukwasa bano ba Nickson. Era ndowooza bw'osinga olaba abasajja abaali ab'amaanyi babbalozi aba Nickson bali awo bali kakundi kaali k'abantu kasibante kitagenda be baali balina obuyinza mu zipoliisi. Naye ng'omusajja yasomerera poliisi n'atuuka paka Makerere ye mumusudde ebbali. Waliwo omusango gwakolebwa kwa Luwa Paaka. Then omusango gwe gukolebwa kwa Luwa Paaka baguyunga ku nze. Era ne ngusavinga emyaka 3. Ogwo gwali 2013 we bankwatira. Bantera naye ng'omusango sinze era yaguza.
Emisango gyoza tebakukwata. Kyokka gy'otazza gye
ate gye ginkwata. Kuba nti nze bwe nalinga nkola ebintu byange mbikola tekiniko.
Obeera
nakiteeseteese era nenkifuluma nga kiteeketeeke. So ku musango ogwo ate gwampisa bubi nnyo era gwe gwandeetera n'okukyukira ddala nve mu bintu bino ddala. Musango ogwo gwakolebwa abantu baali basirikale namba esinga obungi. Era eky'omukisa omulungi omukyala Elizabeth Aliviza yaba convictinga. Nze nali ewano ku musango ogwo. Kuliko aliko murder case, nga kuliko aggravated, nga kuliko ne robbery. Babba milioni 5 ne battawo omuntu omukyalo oyo gwe batte yali atunda buswiti mukama amuwumuze mirembe n'eyaliwo asikali naye ne bamulumya. N'eyali ayitawo naye ne bamulumya. So omusango gwali hadi nnyo, gwali munene, gwanteekebwako mu 2013. Omusango ogwo bwe bagunteekako, ebiseera ebyo twalina obutakkaanya bw'amaanyi nnyo wakati wa Sserunjo Gipade, Sobbi, Saalongo, olwaleeraze ku bwa Lord Mayor, Yaguma nawe.
Grace tuyagumana ebiseera ebyo.
Grace Yaguma nawe yali operation commander, yali direct operation mu biseera bya Kiula. Abajjukira obulungi nga Kaweesa ye RPC. Kati Kaweesa bamugjawo bamutwala Nairobi ku course. Wasigalawo Tuyaguma nawe yateekingawo. Kati bwe era bennyini be babbanja Uganda babitegeera. Kakati bamala okubba mu kifo, ebigambo biyitingana, lobale ebadde kwaliwa paaka, bingi byali bingi ndoza biwulira n'abantu abaafa byali birina okumanyibwa eggwanga. Ate lyebbanga emmundu eza lobale ezaali zimaze, kubanga lobale gye nasembayo okulaba mu Kampala wakati yakolebwa ku Mukwana Arcade ka Forex Bureau, kali ka Forex Bureau ebiseera ebyo, era baali basirikale be bakabba. Kati wali wayise emyaka egisukka mu 10 nga tewali mmundu eyingidde mu Kampala kola lobale, era baali basirikale. Baali basirikale era bagira mu uniform z'abasirikale, kuba namala ne mbategeera. Natwala obudde okunoonyereza. Bw'obeera eruzira tubeera ku investigation, musango gw'endikaani yaguzza.
Osobola omutegeera?
Yes. Bayinza n'omuleetera ku musango omulala nga yajjidde ku musango omulala nga naye yakola gw'oliko, naye ng'atajjidde ku mulala.
Osaavinga okutali gugwo?
Ate
asaavinga okutali gugwe?
ye asaavinga ogugwe naye nga neguno yaguzza. Kuba ekyo kyali kibadde weeruzira nakirabako. Kakati nsaavinga omusango gutali gwange, mba ndi awo nga sinatuuka eyo ku saavini. Wano mukunkwata bankwata batya, nze Kayihura yali talinaako ttabu, kubeera namusinkanako bifungo gw'omusango tegunabaawo ewa Ajabibu Kagimu. Era Ajabibu Kagimu yakubira Kayihura n'amugamba jangu, Sobbi alina information gy'alina. Nentuula ne Kayihura nembimunnyonnyola. Kati ate Kayihura abantu be yankwasa nga ye tamanyi nti mbamanyi okuva emabega nga tebannaba nakubeera ba poliisi. Yankwasa NICKSON. Nemugaawe sijja kukola naye. Ngamba oba okola naye, nemugaawe sijja kukola naye. Kati yali tasobola nze nalaba NICKSON nga tannabeera wa poliisi. NICKSON namulaba NICKSON nga tannabeera nakulanke, nga sisuubira nti aliyambala ne uniform ya blue blazer. Olw'ensonga nti NICKSON yabeeranga ku William. Ayigiriza NICKSON okutrakinga yali Namara. Bamuyita Namara, kasajja katono kali awo keeru. Ono yali muguzi w'amasimu ga kibbi, ng'era agula amasimu abayege babbye ku street ne bagaleeta. Kati amutwala okutandika okutrakinga yali afande Kamusiime. Mu biseera by'abayeekera ab'e Congo, NICKSON wakola ki? Wayingirira mu CMI, amutwalayo yaani ono Namara. NICKSON gwenjogerako waali, ne Namara gwenjogerako waali. Kakati babatwala mu CMI. CMI ebiseera ebyo yali y'amaanyi nnyo, nga womanya ali wano nga gundi ekyali wano Chigundi side headquarter yali ekyali wano ku Stewolo nga wali branch yayo wali office zaayo. Njagala ojjukiremu ebiseera ebyo poliisi yali nnyo ne CMI era nga abantu abavudde ku CMI babakwasa na afandani womanya yabandolinga abamu batwala ku poliisi n'obalokola yali afande womanya. Kakati omukwano gugwawo gutya ogwa CMI ne poliisi. Nickson bwadde wa afande Kayihura nga baleese afande Kayihura eri bateekayo afande Mugira. Afande womanya ali Kibuli. Nickson yagezaako nnyawo okulaba nga tebagatta CMI ewafande kandiho ebiseera ebyo tisina afande waliyo afande Mugira kandiho bamuteekawo oluvannyuma waliyo afande Mugira. Afande Mugira nga bagamba poliisi ebba abantu CMI yebba abantu, poliisi yebba abantu CMI yebba abantu. Kati Kayihura akifulumirawa bakwata akazaawula. Mu kukwata akazaawula yali abbye emmoroka ng'agitwala Congo Benz ng'eriko namba za Noah. Emmoroka eyo yali reporting ku Jinja Road. Etuuka bagikwata bagizza ogenda ogikebera ng'eriko namba za Benz ng'eriko namba za Noah ate nga ne Noah nannyini yo taliiwo talabika. Kati bagizza okugijja ebunagana bagizza wano. Mu kugizza wano bagenda okunoonyereza nga owa Noah yafa. Kazaawula badde asaavingira mu CMI twaliramu afande Mugira bambi yali tabimanyi nekimutwaliramu era omuzeeyi yamugjamu obwesige ne bakakasa CMI yekola ki yebba naye ng'omubbi yali omu ate ng'alina amaanyi maki mangi ate era afande Mugira amusangamu kuba afande Mugira yasangamu oyo yes. Kati awo CMI we yawukanira ne poliisi omukwano ne gukola ki ne gufa.
That is Sobi. So you clearly see police was full of criminals. In fact, I keep on telling people that when you're arresting these people, the end game should be arresting the worst Inspector General KALE KAYIHURA so that he can rot in jail. Because he employed those gangs, he employed those criminals who knew nothing about police. He must be arrested. Okay? Let me also give you another dossier of Kirumira. Here's a tape.
Nemugenda ku kubo nemufuna ya muvubuka nga Nickson oba pichi oyo senior officer Faizo Katendo muyaye wali nansana oyo nayo SPC namala mwogera ko nemuka mu SPC nemagaba naye mulinda abaga yayi kati mbyogedde mujje mu nkwate emisango egiriyo
ya polisi mwetegefu okujiwako obujulizi
bwali bawaka chief ko nakanonyeza ku polisi nja kuwa obujulizi bwali bawaka chief ko nakanonyeza ku polisi Owichita president ataddewo atajja kateekawo kuba manyi naye alina okuba ne issues ebintu bingi bikolebwa abantu bakola effujjo president your excellency teekawo judicial commission mu police ozule lwaki ebijambya tebikoma bisenguka busengusi ne bive nansana ne bigendako Entebbe ne bive Entebbe ne bigendako Masaka ne bive Masaka ne bigendako Bukoma Nsimbi ne bive Bukoma Nsimbi ne bikomawo Kampala.
That is Kirumira. So for me, I think, first of all, I thank the CID. I keep on telling people that away from politics, if the CID decides to investigate something without political feelings, it will do a very good investigation. Okay? But because our institutions were captured by the regime, sometimes they do political intelligence. They slap fixations on politicians, but away from politics, they can do a very good job. This is where I was supposed to end. In a free and fair court, in a free and fair intelligence system, there is no way Kayihura can be outside the prison. Even training him in a military court, for me, I wasn't a fan because military courts are for political scores. They wanted to just cut him to size. He was supposed to be tried in this court so that he can be jailed. Kayihura, even if you run on this earth, You are the worst Inspector General of Police who orchestrated chaos, who did political scores, who presided over murders. Because if you are made the Inspector General of Police, you are supposed to keep law and order. If I lose my loved ones, if I'm arrested in fixed charges, you are the one responsible. Because you lead an organization that is incompetent. Because you accepted goons who never knew even how the policeman works to be in key positions. Okay? And for me, I keep on telling people that the thing that took away Kayihura's weight brought an incompetent policeman, brought a murderer, brought someone who settled political scores, brought a cadre who disregarded the Constitution. Even in my previous video, I kept on saying that he went to Parliament to tell Parliament that they should remove the 48-hour rule. Because in our Constitution, you are not supposed to be at police custody for more than 48 hours. He wanted it to be removed. When he was caught by the court martial, he spent almost 3 months in the court martial custody. He was the first person to quote the 48-hour rule so that he can be released. Such a hypocrite. Kayihura, the only thing is, come out, go to church or to the mosque or anything, ask for forgiveness, fast for 40 days like Jesus if you want to be forgiven. Other than that, some of the people I know have a lot of hate on you. They are bitter. The prayers they say to God are part of the prayers that even made you run out of favor with your boss. And I'm sure you're not enjoying the outside life. It's the reason that's why everywhere there is a state function, you come so that you can be seen by Museveni maybe and those in power so that you can be brought back in government. Understand that whenever you get a chance to serve in government, let me tell those security personnel, make the system better. Because today you're in government, you may have insurance, you may have what, you may have a lot of power to wield. The next day you'll be out of government and you'll be vulnerable. You'll be vulnerable. So Kayihura, these arrests, I pray that they finish up with you. You have a lot of things to answer because those people were working under you during your police tenure. Of course, that's my opinion. Do make also by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.
Yes, Sulaiman Mawagali. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makinde East constituency so that I can represent the great people of Makinde East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.
Sigadde nze Mr. Makindi Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali kantu ene guno omukisa okubategeeza mbu ngenda kwesimba okuwa MP Makindi East 2026 nesimbawo luli era nkomawo bataata bamaama basenga bajjajja okubasaba akalulu. Makindi East ediridde nnyo emabega okumala emyaka 2 okuva omugenzi Sebana we yagenda. Yensonga lwaki buli mukulembeze ajja tumuwayo ekisanja kimu kubanga tukola ensobi. Kulembeza Makindi East okumala emyaka 15 buli baranking abakulembeze abakozi b'omu parliament abatakyasinze kwogera babeera mu abiri abasemba. Ebyo bintu birina okwogerwa. Twetaaga omukulembeze ng'alina obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. twetaaga omukulembeze nga fighter, si bano bajooka. Bw'oba ng'ogenda tusaabalira ku mazzi ne baleeta eryato ly'ebbumba ne baleeta ne speed boat, tosobola kukwata lyato lya bbumba ogenda osaabale kubanga lijja kunywa amazzi obbire bassebo ne bannyabo. Oba olina kulondawo speed boat efubutuka kaweewo ekusomese mangu. Nze Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali, nze speed boat. Bannaye munonde muninnye nsooke mbasaabaze ku supiidi ey'ekizungirizi. Eddoboozi lyaffe libadde teriwulirwa. Kyekiseera mu 2026 mulonde nze kamwa kwogera Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali ayina eddoboozi eryamwanguka ajoyimirira ku palamenti ayanje ensonga mu beesimbyewo bonna bassebo ne bannyabo teri ansinga kwanja nsonga. Abaneesimbyeko bonna baneegomba olw'engeri gye njogeramu, olw'engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Gw'oba okiwakana eno YouTube yange sooka ogiraba ogifollowing ogisharing olayo ne vidiyo eziriko engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Kuba mwaka faananyi nga ndi ku folo ya palamenti nga ngamba Mr. Speaker sa wa Madam Speaker sa waliwo asobola ogaana okuwulira. So mu 2026 tetukola era ne mulonda omulala atali Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali. Musibe bulungi, mweraba. Peace.
Obo mpala na walahi kusaba kimuze mpala na bulungi. Waji ava mpala na bulungi. Nange benjagala obulungi.